Yo, what's going on, everybody? Punchers, all having a great day. I got a brand new video coming at you, and we're actually going to do this one live.
No. We'll do it live! It.
This is going to be the gunfight tips and tricks part 2 that everybody's been requesting. I was actually looking back at the very first one I did back in January 4th. I uploaded it, so it's been almost a year. And not only have I grown as a player myself, especially in gunfight, but there's definitely some things I realized that can be added to this part 2. And keep in mind, anything that I mentioned in part 1, I left out, because there's already a part 1. So this is going to be all focused on new stuff that can still help you out a ton, but I don't want to just repeat myself in a part 2, right? So I already got a private match set up. It's on just a team deathmatch speedball. I just picked one of the most common, probably one of the best gunfight maps in the game. And I'm just going to show you guys some things you can do to greatly increase your gameplay, skill, just overall awareness, everything. So if you guys haven't already liked that button, punch that like button out, guys. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the sub button and the bell if this video helps you out. I really hope it does. If you want to catch me live on Twitch, I stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/punchgoesbig, Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And lastly, guys, if you're not already in the Discord, I've been pushing this one. I know I'm probably starting to get annoying. There is a link in the description. I would highly recommend you guys join the Discord. I am doing a lot of stuff in my Discord currently. I do Discord only giveaways. If you want to talk to me privately, publicly, there's a whole community in there. We currently got 700 members of just awesome people, super friendly. So if you just want to come in there and hang out, I'm going to be doing some Cold War giveaways, once it gets closer to the game, and just all kinds of stuff. So if you're not already in there, I highly recommend doing so. But other than that, guys, let's jump right on into it. Like I said, I'm in a custom lobby right now, team deathmatch on speedball. And we're just going to start up the game here so I can show you guys some tips. Alright, so here we are, guys. We are in the game. This is just a speedball TDM game, custom game. I'm in here by myself, as you can see. I didn't want to put on Gunfight because I didn't have to deal with the timer while I'm sitting there trying to explain stuff to you guys. But the one last thing I want to throw out there before we get into it is, I know this is a tips and tricks video. This is meant for new players all the way up to advanced players. There's going to be advanced players that know and probably do everything I show here. There's going to be advanced players that don't know everything I show here. And obviously on down the line to intermediate and new players, there's going to be players that don't know any, especially the fact that Cold War just announced Gunfight coming back to that game December 10th. There's going to be new players looking for tips all across the board. So for those of you that know all the tips here, that is great. That is awesome. Please don't leave any negativity, in the comments saying, well, I already knew all these. This was a waste of my time, blah, blah, blah. Because remember, it's a tips and tricks video. It's based towards everybody, but especially those new players or intermediate players, or even some of the advanced players that don't know all of these. So just keep that in mind as we move on to the first tip. All right, here we go, guys. Tip number 1, movements. Movements are the most important factor to know and learn in gunfight, especially when you don't regen health in gunfight. You only have 1 life per round. These are going to make you so much more evasive and just help you win more gunfights overall. And I'm going to explain 3 of them here real quickly. I have a whole separate video explaining how to do these movements in detail. I'm going to have that link down at the top of the description below. If you want to check that out after this video. In case you don't already know how to do the movements, I will be explaining those in detail in that video. Here I'm just going to show them to you real quickly and explain how they're used in gunfights. So for example, you start at the spawn here. You don't just want to slowly aim walk sideways and see who's crossing here. That's a lot of times it's going to get you killed, especially when you're playing better players. What strafing is used for is, for one, say you start at the spawn here and you want to see who's crossing over here. You can just look this way real quick and strafe sideways. And basically all strafe jumping is when you look in one direction and then you turn and jump in another direction. Your character will kind of start running the one direction and then fly sideways through the air, allowing you to look while you're moving sideways quickly so that you're more evasive, obviously. And strafing can also be used for things like there's a guy that's got you trapped behind this box right there on the blue barrels. You can just strafe out at him and shoot him. It just makes you so much more evasive and just quicker movement overall. A lot of you probably don't know, when you jump in this game in general, your hitbox is actually smaller, which means you're a smaller target for bullets to hit. So they might be shooting you, but they're actually not going to be getting any hit detection on you and leaving any damage on you because you're jumping, flying through the air. The hitbox is smaller. The second movement, this is one of the most popular ones in the game, is the slide cancel. Slide canceling can be used for a number of things. For one, if you slide cancel non-stop, you will never run out of stamina. You can literally just do this all the way across the map and not, you know, run out of speed. Whereas if you just normally sprint, you can't even sprint all the way through the map without running out of stamina. You'll see my guy will just stop and do a normal sprint. Slide canceling is huge. You know, if you want to do the same, say you're trying to challenge this guy, you know he's right there, you can slide cancel out at him real quick, and it's such a quick movement that if you're doing it towards somebody, it's really hard to actually counter that if you're just sitting in one spot. You know, say somebody's in the middle here, you can slide cancel around and pop them over here. There's just so many different things that you can use slide canceling for, and it is extremely hard to kill somebody that's doing it and used it in the right situation. The last one, and this one's not as important but still super handy, is the bunny hop. And basically what the bunny hop is when you strafe sideways like I just did and then do a jump as soon as you land. This can help you kind of surprise people. So say you know there's somebody on the barrel over here and you want to come strafing sideways at them, you can kind of do that bunny hop, and you're going to already be shooting at them behind the barrel as you're bunny hopping. And like I said, you're jumping, so your hitbox is going to be small. You're going to have the upper hand and outgunning them behind that barrel. It's just kind of like a surprise element if you want to fly at somebody and gun them, you know, just kind of bouncing it. It's super OP. It's another really hard movement to kill somebody if they're using it properly. But those are the 3 movements. Like I said, there's a link down in the description below. I show how to do these in detail. So if you want to check that out after the video, make sure you do so. All right, so tip number 2 is going to be pre-firing. This is another important one. This can be used on and off throughout rounds. And there's several different ways you can pre-fire. So the first one is obviously, you know, you look down a lane that you know somebody's going to cross right at the start. You might just peek over here and kind of tap down this lane with your shot, see if you can hit somebody, because say you tap the guy that's crossing right there, you might bring him down to 60 health, and then you can do like a bunny hop like I showed you and challenge him on the heady over here, and he's only going to have 60 health, so it's going to be a lot easier for you to outgun him, whereas you still have full damage. So that is the first way you can pre-fire. Another way to pre-fire is just strafing pre-firing, you know. If you know people are going to cross here, you'll be strafing through the air sideways, and you can kind of just shoot and see if you can knock damage off on them as they're crossing. And that's going to be a more advanced movement. It's probably going to be hard for you guys at first to strafe and shoot and kind of keep your aim on target if anybody is moving, but it's the same effect. You know, they might jump up on this barrel over here on the heady, and at that point you maybe have them down to 55 damage, and so at that point, as long as your aim's good, you're going to outgun them because you have more health than them. And then lastly, pre-firing. So say, you know, there's a guy behind this wall over here and he's weak. You might know that he's going to jump out and challenge you right here, so you can just kind of like pre-fire maybe and see if you can get him to panic and jump out into your pre-fire. If you're up close, you know, say you know there's somebody laying right here, you can strafe over and just pre-fire into the crate. There's a lot of different ways to pre-fire that can aid in your advantage versus if you're just, you know, slow aiming or doing this. You know, you never just want to be caught slow aiming or kind of peek in a corner. If you know somebody's right here, you know, slide in there and just literally pre-fire before you go in there. There's so many different ways you can pre-fire people to your advantage, and it's just going to literally help you win a lot more gunfights than not. All right, tip number 3, guys, is going to be Vantage Points. Pretty much every single map has Vantage Points. I'll show you the ones on Speedball here, or just some of the ones that I use. So a big one is if you spawn on the box side and you're over here in Gunfight on the box side of the map. The most popular spot is going to be up on the heady over here. Also, people like to sit and crouch behind this box like this over there, like to peek out at you. And just keep in mind, there's little ledges, like you can jump up on this guy right here, if I can actually jump. And you have yourself a perfect heady to fight the guy back that's heading up on this one. And you know, you can use this to your cover. He can't see behind this wall. You can just pop up sideways real quick and blast the guy that's up there. Also, you know, he might be behind this box right here and just sitting there or aim down thinking you're over here real quick. You might be able to jump over and just get the full damage on him and blast him when he's behind there. Other situations, like say you know there's a guy sitting behind this crate over here, or you know there's a guy behind this barrels. You might be in a gunfight with him on these tires. He's waiting for you to peek out again. You know, you're taking shots at him behind these tires. You might run over here real quick, hop up on this wall, and just boom, you have advantage on him. He's dead. And there's so many different ways on different maps to do this. You know, you can jump up on this cinder blocks at the beginning of a game and watch people crossing. pretty much see all the way in their spawn. But just it's real important to use vantage points because they help you out a ton. And anytime you are higher up than your opponent, obviously you have the advantage. Unless they got crazy aim or something, you might get bad luck sometimes where they're just going to completely smoke you. But vantage points are huge. I don't see a lot of players using them, and I promise you they make your life a lot easier, will help you win more gunfights. All right, tip number 4, guys, mounting. So mounting is actually a super handy way to win some of the gunfights that you're going to get into. It's not something to get comfortable with. I'm just going to show you here an example of when you would use it. So say you start off here, you strafe, you see that one of the guys is sprinting up to the middle heady here. Instead of like just sitting here trying to beam him with a medium to high recoil weapon like the MP5, you can just run. So like if I just sprint over here real quick, get on this mount, you can see there's almost no recoil right there. Like when you're mounting, it takes away almost all of the recoil on your weapon. And it just makes it so much easier to kill people, especially in situations like that. You can do it anywhere too. Like if this back wall, if you want to challenge the guy, you might just you might spawn right here, you might sprint over, see he's going over here, and just mount real quick and be ready to blast him off the heady. You know, you can do it on sideways on the boxes like this, just really wherever you want to do it at. But just keep in mind, it's not something to get super comfortable with. You don't just want to do it anywhere, like sprint up the middle of the map and just sit here like you're patrolling. You know, that is going to get you killed. But if you just use it quickly or just kind of to your convenience, but not for long, you might sprint over here and this guy's shouldering this corner. Be ready for him and just blast him when he pops out again. Mounting can be super handy for you. It's mainly, I would say it's mainly used for like beginning challenges or like if you're in the spawn trying to get a quick pick on somebody. But like I said, just get used to it. Get used to mounting quickly for angles like watching the heady like I showed you. But don't get so used to it to where you rely on it for no recoil, because if you do that, it's going to get you killed. All right, on the tip number 5, guys, we got shouldering. So something you see a lot of newer players do is when they want to check a corner or check an angle, they'll crouch down and just slowly peek around the corner, see if somebody's looking out this way or looking out this way or over here. And I promise you, for especially the new players, you know, this is going to get you killed probably 90 to 100% of the time. Versus shouldering. What shouldering is when you get behind cover and you just do this. And obviously that's where shouldering got its name, because you're peeking out about a shoulder's length, just enough to be able to see, and then going back into cover time after time here so that you aren't fully exposed for a long period of time. And so if you do shoulder and you see some guy here, you might shoulder like this, see him, sprint over here, and then boom, hit him from this angle or surprise him at a different angle. That's what shouldering's good for. It's you can kind of play with your opponent and also check angles that you think they're at without exposing your whole body for long periods of time and taking damage. All right, so moving on to tip number 6, guys, I'm going to talk about rechallenging. And what I mean by rechallenging is, say you're in a gunfight right here, and you and this guy are shooting each other, you're both taking damage, you're both pretty weak. It might be smarter for you, so you take damage, you run to cover. He's most likely going to still be sitting on this barrel, so for you, it might make more sense to sprint through here and then like re-challenge him up close, or you might even get an angle and peek all the way through here and blast them. You know, you don't want to challenge the same angle, especially if you've taken damage already. Say there's a guy up here and you're trying to pop him off the head, and he's shooting you, he's seeing you on this side of the crate. You might want to sit here and take a couple pop shots at him and then challenge him from this side, or run over here and just kind of be evasive. You don't want to re-challenge from the same angle that you've been challenging somebody at, especially if they're winning that challenge and they're putting more damage on you than you are them. Because more often than not, you're going to die. You know, if there's a guy heading right here and you pop out, try to put damage on him, and he kills you, he's going to be waiting right here for you to pop out again. So it might make more sense for you to sprint over here and blast him as you take cover or something. Just, you know, be smart about your challenges. There's some situations where ego challenge is good. You know, if you come over here and blast this guy and then all of a sudden 2 of his teammates show up, you might run back over here and then come back over and just blast both of them. You know, do like a quick strafe ego chow and kill both of them. But it's really situational, and you got to be smart about your challenges, because like I said, that's an easy death for you if you're doing challenging the same angle that somebody's already got you locked in on. All right, for tip number 7, we're going to talk about flag plays. And what I mean by flag plays is, I know each and every one of you by now has been in that situation where you're down on damage, the flag appears, you know that you either have to capture the flag to win or you have to kill your opponent to win. And either A, you don't know where your opponent is, so you're going to go for the flag, or B, you know where your opponent is, but you can't lure him out and you're worried he's going to kill you while you're on the flag. And what you do in these situations, so let's say, you know, speedball, the flag spawns right here for a gunfight. And you know your opponent's over here behind this wall. He's either peeking out right here or he's peeking up on the heady. When you capture the flag, they're going to get alerted that you're on the flag. And you guys probably know this already. But they're going to get alerted saying that your opponent's capturing the flag. So what you can do is if you know he's over there just hiding, waiting for you to hop on it, you can sprint through here real quick so he gets alerted. And just mount up here, be ready for him to pop out and blast him. You might either get enough damage to where then he has to come capture the flag, or you might be able to kill him or at least get him to lure out. You know, there's so many different plays to be made in these situations, even if you're down on damage. Say he's back there, you know he's there. You can come sprint right here, hide behind this thing. He can't hit you at all, make him come to you, and then you pre-fire him as he starts running at you. There's plenty of plays to be made even when you think that you're down and out. You know, you never just want to come and sit here, you know he's back there, and just kind of crouch down and lay and hope that they don't see you, because you're just a sitting duck at that point. You're going to get killed most of the time. Let's say they're back over here and they're behind this box, and it's obviously hard to hit somebody when they're behind the box right there. You can do the same thing. You can sprint through here so they get alerted. By that time, they're going to be peeking, and you might have the advantage on them, have just enough time to kill them before the round ends, or at least get enough damage on them that then you have more damage and you're going to win by default, because they're not going to have enough time to come capture the flag. But pretty much on any map, guys, that can be done. So, you know, never think that you lost just because you're low on damage that round and they're sitting somewhere hiding you don't know. You know, you can always use the flag as bait to get them to either pop out and look, or even pop out so that you can kill them. So keep that one in mind, guys. That pretty much concludes the video, guys. I mean, I think between this video and the video uploaded back in January, I've pretty much covered every possible tip that you can learn and know on Gunfight to make yourself a better player. Remember, the most important key to all of these tips that I showed you is actually playing and applying them. You know, you can watch 1,000 videos, but until you actually get in there and use these tips and make them muscle memory, you're not going to get any better. So just if you can play for at least like an hour, 2 hours a day, just go into pubs, whatever, and just play, I promise you will notice a difference. And especially when you master the movements and mounting and just, you know, developing that game sense to where you know when to challenge this angle, you know when to re-chow, you know, a different angle, or ego chow this angle. There's just so much to Gunfight that comes with just playing and experience overall. Another thing I'd recommend is just watching others play. If you ever want to come to my stream, guys, like I said, I stream twitch.tv/punchgoesbig Sunday through Thursday at between usually 9 and 10 p.m. is when I start Central Standard Time, and you can watch me. You know, I play all night long Gunfight. There might be little things you pick up, or you can see me use the things I showed you guys here. But it's all just going to come down to playing and applying, guys. So wish you guys the best of luck in increasing your skills. You know, like I said, I'm always here to help. So if you got any questions, leave them below in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. As probably many of you noticed by now, I like responding to you guys' comments. You know, you guys show me a ton of support, and I feel like it's the least I can do to respond to everybody and get you a good answer. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Other than that, guys, like I said, that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, and I'm out.